But this is how they're going to introduce it, get the local police and military to follow orders and go along with it. And then they can turn the heat up. So this is happening. This is going on. We're going to go to your phone calls now. Yesterday, I had a bunch of callers who were on hold when the show ended, and I promised that if they called back today, they would go to the head of the line when we did open the phones up. And Anthony in Georgia, we're going to go to in a moment, has called back. He started getting into an analogy of Barack Obama, and then we had to cut him off because the show ended. So I wanted to go back to Anthony. And also, I'm doing men on the street interviews, one of the last things I'm shooting for this Obama deception film. And we're also going to take some clips from the show of listeners calling in about Barack Obama with their take on him, but particularly African Americans, because I've been pleasantly pleased and surprised because I really thought that the Obama folks, black or white, were completely sold on his fraud. But particularly black folks that I'm talking to really know what's going on and see right through it. Now it turns out one of the top guys in Public Enemy came out, and I didn't even know this. I saw some other videos. He's a fan of the show, not just KRS-One. And KRS-One was telling me the other night, he said, man, so much of hip-hop just loves you. I'd heard that, but I didn't really know that. So the good news is not everybody is drinking the Kool-Aid here. And that's going to become more and more evident as things get worse and worse. Now, I had a Obama supporter in the trailer for the Obama deception film comment and say that by me criticizing Obama and saying he's selling out on his promises and is just a puppet of the elite, that I somehow am a traitor. And I've gotten hundreds of these emails. There's on this one trailer, just a few days after we released it, thousands of comments. And the majority of them are awake and know what's going on. A lot of them are, pointing out that they're black folks and that they see right through Obama and that I exposed Bush for 8 years and that this is nonpartisan, that we're trying to get folks to look past, like KRS-One has said, past the Burger King manager, George Bush or Barack Obama, to the franchise owners, the elite. These presidents are diversions to keep us looking down here instead of up there at the real power structure. And you look at these comments. This is from JX Ford 1 from YouTube on our official Obama trailer, the Obama deception. Why didn't this piece of bleeping producer, creator, take on Bush? This looks like a far right-wing propaganda machine that will break down soon enough. People are tired of bullcrap and need solutions. If you're not part of the solution, let me start over. If you're not part of it, then you are a disruptor. So he says, if you are not part of it, then you are a disruptor. Get ready for the new O generation, one of responsibility and servitude for the greater good. United States of America is the greatest country ever. Well, servitude is not service. Service is what you choose to do for humanity, and you choose how you do that. Servitude in the dictionary is slavery. But that's what this fake service is, this compulsory service. It is slavery. So this person's own ignorance shines through here, and they inadvertently tell the truth and talk about servitude. So we're taking your phone call, seeing what you think of Barack H. Obama. Is he a Judas goat? Is he a front man? Is he a betrayer? Let's go to Anthony in Georgia. Anthony, what's your take on Barack Obama?
Okay, Alex, it's an honor talking to you. Basically, I compare Barack Obama to a vampire. And he's like the black vampire, like on the 1995 movie with Eddie Murphy, A Vampire in Brooklyn, because of his AFRICOM policy. And AFRICOM is basically U.S. African Defense Ministry. And on February 6th of 2007, the Defense Secretary, Robert Gates, during the Bush administration, with the same Defense Secretary Obama carried over, declared his operations in Africa under the title of AFRICOM. And then on February 10th, 4 days later, Obama announces his candidacy for president. And so, a lot of people are thinking, well, it's just a poor continent with a whole bunch of third world countries out there, so it doesn't matter. But they don't realize the big picture. Africa has the most abundant natural resources, the most abundant amount of gold, the most abundant amount of natural gas, the most abundant amount of diamonds, the most abundant amount of pure metals such as iron and such as steel than any other landmass on the planet Earth. And throughout history, every empire has dreamed of controlling Africa. because the emperor knows as soon as they have control over Africa, they have all the natural resources and they have all the manpower they need to conquer the world.
Well, let me interrupt and elaborate on that. They have NORTHCOM, the military jurisdiction over the United States, openly being set up for martial law and 20,000 combat troops to be used against the American people. That's being announced. So they set up Homeland Security and then turn it against the people, what it was meant to do all along. Bush continues. He passes the baton to Obama. He continues the same policy. And yes, they want, instead of Southcom or Northcom or CENTCOM over different regions of the world, they're setting up AfricaCon, and they're admitting that the U.S. forces need to go into Africa. Now, you made another point, though, that I want you to elaborate on and repeat today, because we weren't recording then and you got cut off. I want to put it in the film. Continue, sir, with your analogy of they're looking through the peephole. I mean, in your own words, repeat that.
Right. They put the face of Barack Obama as part of their public relations, because it's like in the old folk tales about vampires. A vampire cannot force his way into somebody's house. It's against some kind of metaphysical law. So the vampire has to persuade the resident of the household to open the door and invite him in. So they're going to look at the peephole at Barack Obama, which looks like them and appears to be on their side. They're going to say, okay, here's my ally. Let me open the door and let me let this person in. And then Barack Obama is just, of course, a front man for the American empire, where he's going to have the entire U.S. Navy, the entire U.S. Army, and the entire U.S. Marines under AFRICOM command. And, of course, he's going to turn it into a new Iraq, and he's going to turn it into a new Afghanistan. Every operation that you see going on in Iraq and Afghanistan is going to propagate to the poor countries of Africa. And
well, sir, I agree with you. They're looking to the people. They see a handsome, smiling African face. You know, he's all, hey, I'm from Kenya. And then it's a total bait and switch. But it's the same thing here in the United States, where they would get sellout Native American chiefs to sell out their people. This is the oldest trick in the book. And he can also pacify the most downtrodden minority groups in the United States. And he's saying, hey, get ready for sacrifice. Get ready to lose your standard of living. They're like, yay, I love Obama. They could never get away with this with a John McCain. And so you're absolutely right. Talking to folks in your community, are they waking up?
I'm trying to talk to some people. I actually know a lot of African immigrants here. And, you know, and they're just ecstatic. Barack Obama is elected president. Even in Kenya, I talked to a Kenyan. They actually have a Barack Obama Day now. They marked on the calendar. They're celebrating his birthday. And I'm trying to tell them, in 4 years, you're going to erase that calendar. You're not going to. Did you see the first thing? Did you see the first thing Barack Obama did when he got elected? Is he doubled the quote family planning, which is really eugenics, the inoculations, the birth control, the abortions in Africa, and then he's funding forced abortions in China, and even the liberal Huffington Post decried that. So he's bringing death to Africa, and I agree, they need him to continue their operation, because Africa's been saying no to GMO food, no to the inoculations, no to the Planned Parenthood. They have figured it out. They've got African Nobel laureates saying HIV was invented. The documents have been declassified. So Africa's waking up, and the establishment needs Barack Obama. I totally agree with you. Exactly. And in my analysis, it seems like America is still on a page from history, because the Romans did the exact same thing. There was a man named Septimus Severus, and from 145 AD to 211 AD, he was the first Roman emperor born of the African province of Rome. And guess what, Alex? He was a mulatto. His father was of Libyan descent from the Berber tribe, and his mother was Italian descent of the Roman lineage. And, of course, he pushed the Roman Empire further into Syria, went on into further east into Syria, and also conquered further west in the Britannian area. And he increased Roman legions from 25 to 33 sovereign legions of the Empire of Rome. So it looks like they're doing the same thing all over again. They're getting somebody, and from his own literature and from people who were critiquing him, he seemed to be harsher on the African people than the natural-born European presence of the Roman Empire in Africa. So they're getting their own kind to turn on their own kind, pretty much. They always get a native-born person of the tribe they want to betray to be the betrayers, because they'll be trusted more and they'll have more open doors toward them. And that's exactly what's going to happen towards Africa. And, you know, my heart goes out to them because, you know, even though I don't